All right, so for the homework, we have to find the zeros and graph. So Tessa, what are our zeros here?
Okay, your zeros is x minus 5 equals, and x minus 2.
So -5 and -2. So on our graph, we're going to put those points on our x-axis. So we go to the left to 2 and to -5. And then what's our end behavior here? What do the arrows do?
It goes up and up.
It's an x squared graph, so it goes up and up. So you have an up arrow going out of the left one and an up arrow going out of the right, and then we just connect the dots in the middle. All right, so number 2. What are our zeros here? Kayla, what'd you get for the zeros?
X equals 0 and x equals 5.
X equals 0 and x equals 5. So we're going to graph. We put a point at 0 and a point at 5.
So the negative doesn't matter?
Well, the negative doesn't matter when we got x equals 0 because it's negative x equals 0. And then you would divide by -1. And what's 0 divided by -1? 0. So it doesn't matter in our answer here, but it does matter in our graph. So how many x's do we have? 2. And do any of those x's have a negative?
Yes.
Yep. So it's a negative x squared graph. So what's our end behavior?
Up and down.
Down and down, because squared means that they have to be in the same direction. So when it's even, it's the same. And negative means that the right one's down. So then I just connect the dots in the middle. All right, number 3. What are zeros?
X equals 0, x plus 5, and x minus 1.
So 0, 5, and -1. So we put those on our graph. And then how many x's do we have here? 3. And do any of them have a negative in front of it? Nope. So it's a positive x cubed graph. If it's positive, what's the right arrow going to do?
Go up,
Right arrow goes up. And if it's odd, what's the left one going to do?
down.
Down, because they go in opposite directions. And then we just connect the dots. Remember, you cannot cross the x-axis other than where your points are. So it has to look like this. If your graph looked like this, that's fine too. It doesn't matter like how high you go, because the y-axis doesn't matter. It's just the general shape that we care about. All right, number 4. Alan, what are our zeros here? Perfect. So we're going to put points at 0 and 3. Jordan, what's our end behavior of the graph going to do? Up and?
No, up and up, sorry.
Up and up, because they go in the same direction since it's even. So up, and then we just connect the dots in the middle. Any questions here? All right, next page. Number 5. Brooke, what are our zeros?
0, -3.
Awesome. So we're going to put our points on our graph. We go to the left to -3, stay on 0, and the right 2. Bless you. What's our end behavior going to do? How many x's do we have? 3. So what's the end behavior of our graph?
Up and down, down and up.
Down, then up. The right one goes up since it's positive. And then we connect the dots. Any questions here? All right, number 6. Sienna, what are our zeros?
X equals 0, x equals 4, and -1.
Awesome. 0, 4, and -1. So we put those on our graph. We point at 0, a point at 4, and a point at -1. Ashton, what's our end behavior here? X to the third power. So what's the end behavior? What direction are our arrows going to go? Down and then up. So then we connect the dots. Any questions here? All right, Leah, number 7. What are zeros?
X equals 0, X equals -8,
Mm-hmm.
and X equals 2.
Perfect. So put those on our graph. And then what's the end behavior of our graph? What do the arrows do?
Up and down.
So it's x to the third power. What's the right arrow do? If it's positive?
Goes up.
Up. Because positive means the right one goes up, so then the left one goes down. So it would be down and then up. Then we connect the dots. Any questions here? All right, Rioni, what are zeros for number 8?
X equals 0, X equals 5, and X equals 3.
Awesome. So we put them on our graph.
You're amazing and I love it.
So we have 0, 3, and 5. Nicole, what do our arrows do? So if it's x to the third power, it's positive, what's the right arrow going to do?
Go up.
The right one goes up since it's positive, and then it's odd, so what's the left arrow going to do? Down. And then we connect the dots.